Millicent and Dorothy Loads, is an independent day and boarding school in Rodin village on the outskirts of Brighton for girls aged 11 to 18. The campus is situated near the Sussex Downs on a cliff overlooking Brighton Marina. The school incorporates a 320-seat theatre, a heated indoor swimming pool and a chapel, as well as a range of workshops, studios, laboratories and sports pitches. During World War II, Rodin became the home to over 30,000 sailors, attending the mining and torpedo school and working for the electrical branches of the Navy. Brighton Marina was built on black rock. Chosen in the 1960s, the scheme was given approval on the understanding that no building showed above the cliffs. In 1971, a massive temporary sea wall was built, which extended along the whole site. Areas of raised land were built, which now accommodates the supermarket and car park, shops, restaurants, clubs, pubs, a bowling complex and multi-screen cinema. In 1996, the Brunswick Development Group purchased the marina and carried out a further massive development. There are 2 walkways that can take you back to the sea edge of the harbour and will give you a superb vista back to Brighton. There's plenty to see and do here, so if you wish to stay for the evening, please be aware that your ticket will be valid on our number 7 service to the Old Steam and Brighton station.
Crescent was constructed by J.B. Otto, primarily to accommodate visitors to Brighton who wanted to see and be seen with the Prince Regent. Completed in 1807, it is one of the few buildings in Brighton to have the same owner from the beginning to the end of construction, although halfway through, Otto had to travel to his plantations in the West Indies to make more money to complete the project. The iridescent glaze of the black mathematical tiles reflect a myriad of colours and add an extra dimension to the facade. This is one of the few buildings left in Brighton with this exquisite feature. In an effort to curry favour with the Prince Regent and hopeful of being invited to the palace parties, he commissioned a statue of the Prince to stand in the courtyard. However, the statue weathered poorly and one of its arms fell off, making the statue resemble Lord Nelson. This offended the Prince, and it was reported that Otto's name was never to be mentioned again in his presence. Poor Otto. Kemptown is particularly particularly known for the grandeur of its Regency buildings and as the stylish residence of famous actors, musicians and writers. It is also home to such institutions as the Royal Sussex County Hospital and Brighton College. Kemptown began life as an upmarket estate to the east of Brighton developed by Thomas Reed Kemp in 1823. Kemp built the estate in an attempt to improve his finances by providing high-class housing for affluent society members wanting homes near the Prince of Wales' seaside palace. The grand houses were the work of Charles Busby, the renowned architect, and his building partner Eamon Henry Wiles, and Thomas Cubitt supervised construction. The houses sold slowly, and when Kemp ran into financial difficulties in 1837, he fled the country, leaving the completion of the estate to Cubitt and financiers. Sales picked up by 1840, when a horse-drawn bus service to the Central Railway Station helped to end the isolation of the area, and again when the Kemptown Railway line was added in 1869. With the work finished, the rich and famous moved in. One such resident, Reverend Charles Dodgson, better known as Lewis Carroll, lived at number 11 for 40 years, between 1847 and 1887.
The next stop is Crescent Place, Royal Sussex County Hospital.
Brighton is known internationally as one of the most diverse and cosmopolitan cities in the UK, and is the gay capital of England. As in the early days of the Regency period, people are as flamboyant and colourful now as they were then. The towns of Hove and Brighton became a city in the Queen's Letter Patent in the year 2000. The current population of the city of Brighton and Hove hovers around 250,000, but increases during the summer season. There are many theories as to how Brighton got its name. It has been translated as a sea town with a bright or burning watchtower, or named in reference to the brightly decorated helms of the local ships. But it is widely believed that Brighton was named after Beorthel, a farmer from Saxon times. The Saxon name for the farm was Tun, so Brighton got its name from Beorthelm's Tun, which in time became Brighton. Before the Regency period of the early 19th century, Brighton was a relatively unknown seaside fishing village, but there were Neolithic settlements on the Downs on Race Hill by Brighton's racecourse, which date back as far as 2700 BC, whilst the Celts settled north of Poldino around 900 BC. In the 18th century, Dr. Richard Russell was largely responsible for putting Brighton on the map. He lived in Russell House, built in 1753, which at the time was the largest building in Brighton. Dr. Russell advocated drinking and bathing in seawater as a cure for many ailments. He died in 1759. Some years later, in 1826, the Royal Albion Hotel was built on the site of Russell House. The Orthelm's Tun's main income was from wool and fish. Fishermen established themselves and their hearts under the cliff of the foreshore, where the Fishermen's Market and Museum are now located, and each year a ceremony called the Blessing of the Nets takes place here. The Orthelm's Tun is mentioned in the Domesday Book, and in 1086 was given a charter for merchants to trade and form their own local government. The town was valued at £12, and there was also a tribute of 4,000 herring given to the king. The town's sea edge suffered continuous erosion, and in 1340 the sea swallowed 40 acres of farmland, all of the fishermen's homes, and South Street, which was never rebuilt. It wasn't until 1660 that the modern name of Brighton was first used, and by 1810 it became the official name of the town.
Brighton Palace Pier is the third pier to be constructed, but is the only one to remain in operation. The first, the Royal Suspension Chain Pier, stood to the east and was erected in 1823. Primarily for use as a landing stage for supply boats to France, and attractions such as fortune tellers, souvenirs and confectionery, and it also provided inspiration for the painters Turner and Constable. The Chain Pier coexisted with the West Pier. However, it became derelict and was to be removed before the opening of the new Pleasure Pier. The task of deconstructing it was made easier after it collapsed during a storm in 1896. The Brighton Marine Palace and Pier opened in 1899. It cost a record £27,000 to build and included 3,000 electric lights on inauguration. Now there are more than 67,000 lights illuminating the pier at night. It's been used as a backdrop and in scenes for many films over the years. At 1,722 feet long, it attracts over 4 million visitors a year. Maintaining Brighton Palace Pier is a continuous operation, which is managed on a daily basis by a maintenance team called deckhands. Painting